Hey guys, so today is officially day 8, I believe, in quarantine. Hold on, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yes, today is day 8 in quarantine. It's officially been over a week. And surprise, surprise, there are more developments. I think that at least here in Wuhan, things are starting to feel a bit more relaxed than they were at first. I mean, like, no duh, the first couple of days is like shocking that a city of 11 million people is in quarantine and you don't know what to do or if you're going to get out. At least in my case, since I'm an American, wasn't sure if I was having to stay put, if I was going to get a chance to leave. And then, like, that was, especially that option was back and forth in the air so much because it was, at first, it was like the flight is only for consulate employees, and then they were like, no, you can apply to get on, but then they never responded. And then I was like, never made it though. And then all the, and so many US news sources saying that the US was going to keep sending planes, and it's like not the case. So especially that case, the first couple of days was just like shocking and confusing and scary. And I think we've just kind of like, as a city, kind of adjusted real quick. And I went for a walk just a little bit earlier, and I was like, saw some more cars out on the road, less than the other day, but there was still a few cars on the road. I think I counted like maybe 5, but there was a couple cars, and there was people out and about walking around. There was a few more stores, little grocery shops opened up again. So I saw like some more stores and food options. There was like not any restaurants yet, obviously, but I stopped in at like a little chowsher, a little grocery store, and got some chocolate bars, and then went for, just took like a lap around the block, went for a little walk. There was a pharmacy nearby that was open, and the line was out the door, obviously, for the pharmacy. Everybody wants masks and vitamin C's and thermometers, the ones you put on your head. So things are starting to feel more regulated and like normal, and I guess I'm just kind of adjusting to living in quarantine. But despite that, I know that things are increasing with the virus. There are now many other, maybe not many, but there are several other cities in China that are under quarantine and travel bans as well. Not just Wuhan anymore. There's a few more places that are locked down. I have a friend who was visiting family in another province, and they put her family and her house under complete quarantine and labeled her house Wuhanren, which means people from Wuhan. And they're under like house quarantine. But she says they're fine, they're doing well, and it's just a chance to bond with family. And they don't want to take the chance to infect their neighbors and family and friends anyway. So I mean, she's still doing well. She's not sick or anything. But there is definitely a huge fear in China of the people from Wuhan, just in this moment, just in this time from the virus. So like, that's kind of like unreal. And I was thinking about, so here's what has me thinking. Here's what I'm all topsy-turvy over right now. There is another chance. I just found out yesterday. Before, it was like that one flight was the only chance to get out with the U.S. consulate employees. But the U.S. consulate and the embassy in Beijing did just send out a notice yesterday that there is a chance to get on another plane. It would be leaving in like 2 or 3 days. What's today? The 31st or the 1st? I don't remember anymore. But there's a chance it would leave in 2 or 3 days for another plane there is another plane leaving from Wuhan to the U.S. It is primarily for non-essential U.S. government employees. And then after that would be the effect, like U.S. private citizens at risk with like the most health risks. Young and old, people with infants and children. So again, I would be bottom of the barrel. Last option, since I'm not old and I'm not an infant, nor do I have an infant. So again, it'd be kind of a grasp at straws, but it's a chance. But I'm really torn about it because there is so much, and rightfully so much fear of people coming out of Wuhan. And I would have to go into quarantine in the US before I could take another flight to go be with family. So, and I do have to go back to school and work in a couple of weeks. Like, I do still have to return to my life and my job and my students. So I guess my question is it worth my time and trouble? Because best case scenario, I get accepted for this flight. I go to the US. I am observed for 72 hours, don't show any symptoms, and can catch a flight right after that 72-hour mark to my family and still spend maybe 10 days with them. Well, 8 because of the time it would take to get back to China. So about 8 or 9 days I could spend with my family. Like, is that worth it? Is it worth trying to, like all of the struggle and the mess of getting out of Wuhan and corresponding with the U.S. consulate again and undergoing more quarantine and the suspicion and the fear and the struggle of coming out of Wuhan. And even so, that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, I go and I'm under quarantine and they're not sure about my symptoms. Maybe I catch a cold from somebody else because I'm flying and traveling and I'm in close quarters with everybody else coming out of Wuhan. So worst case scenario, I catch the virus because I'm flying with other people from Wuhan. So, and then I have to spend the 10 days that I would 10 or 11 days or 9, whatever my calculation was, whatever time I would spend with my family, I end up spending in quarantine at a retired Air Force base in the US where I don't know anyone or anything, and now I probably have the virus. So, like, at least here, I don't have the virus, and I'm safe, and it's just my home, and I have other friends and employees, like, other staff around that I can, like, still talk to and be with. Even though the city's under quarantine, I can leave my apartment and I can still live a somewhat normalized life. And then there is the most likely option out of the three. The most likely option is I just never hear back from the embassy because I'm not a high-risk case. So, of the three options, best case, go back to the U.S., spend some time with my family, and have to undergo quarantine and all that. Or, worst case, I go to the U.S., don't get out of quarantine, get the virus, and then third most likely option is I just never hear back from the embassy and I don't go. So I'm actually really, really torn about this. I'm thinking about it a lot. A lot of you guys have been sharing your opinions with me anyway, so I don't mind if you want to weigh in on pros and cons in the comments. Most people are just telling me to, like, get out of Wuhan, and it's like, what if I could, bud? But the flight scenario is a little bit of an issue. Oh, and then that's another thing. Even if we go with the best case scenario and I go back to the US and I spend time with family and then I'm getting ready to come back. Okay, so my school starts back up in a couple weeks. However, we still don't know when flights will be okay to come back and forth through Wuhan. So, like, maybe my school starts up and I'm not back, which is like a workable, doable scenario. My co-teacher will help out, we'll get subs, like, people will do what they have to do, like, we'll make it work, but it's not a good thing. And, you know, I am a first-year teacher. I don't want to kind of set that tone for myself here in school, you know, to be the teacher that bailed, like, first chance she got and was like, see you later. So, like, even if we go with the best case scenario, I still have a job here. I still have work and career and friends and commitments, and I don't want my roommate's cat to die. My roommate is she was abroad when the quarantine happened, so I've been taking care of the cat I don't want to come back to an angry boss, a dead cat, and like angry peers who had to pick up my slack at work, you know? So I have no idea. There's just, it's not as easy as stay or go. There's just 1,000 other contingencies and complications and things that go into it. So I'm very torn about that. But that aside, that was the news update. Along with many other cities being quarantined here as well. But aside from that, things are they're still really weird. But they're starting to like become a new normal, I guess. One of the gate closest to my apartment in my apartment complex got locked down because it was at a corner of a busy intersection, and they wanted to decrease the risk of too many people, especially like delivery people coming in and out. So they closed down that gate, and there's signs everywhere. There's signs posted about what elevators are okay to take if you're disinfected, like if you're not one of the infected. Everyone's wearing their mask. You have to go through like they scan your forehead with the thermometer. So you have to go through a body temp check at most buildings now before you can go in. I just went for a walk around the block, and coming back I had to have my body temperature checked at the gate. They won't let you in if you have a fever. You have to have your body temp checked before you go into the pharmacy, grocery store, Walmart, like anything, which sounds super weird to say, but again, I got real used to it real quick. Now I just walk up to the body temp check people, stick out my forehead, and let them do their job before going in or leaving or whatever. So, I think that's it. If you guys want to know anything specific about living in China, you can ask me and I'll respond to you in the comments. But I mean, overall, like I feel like this is definitely because I didn't make any videos that aren't related to the quarantine, so I feel like this is definitely like you get the worst look of it. Living in China is actually really cool. I really love my job here. I really love the students and the school that I'm teaching at. I love all the experiences I've been able to have in China, and one of the best experiences ever about living in Asia is how easy it is to travel to all the other countries around you. It's so much, like, it's just available, and it's cheaper, and it's so much fun. There's so many things that I love about China. I really do love working and living here. But, so, like, don't let this virus kind of salt your whole view towards Wuhan or China or Asia. But, I mean, even as much fun as I'm having and as much as I love it here in China, there's definitely some things that I miss about the U.S. One of them is being able to hear English everywhere. It's getting really frustrating not being able to communicate very well with anybody. I have the Chinese level of like a toddler. I can say I want, I have, I don't want, hello, goodbye. Actually, today at the store, so obviously everyone knows goodbye. It's like the one word, hello and goodbye. It's like the two words that anyone knows in Chinese. Goodbye is zaijian. And I was picking up some chocolate at the grocery store on my walk, and I got all flustered, and the guy was like, bye-bye, and I was like, Saijo, which is doesn't mean anything, but I got flustered, and I was like caught off guard, and I just yelled Saijo, which is not a word. So that's my Chinese level, is I forgot Saijian. But I am learning. Speaking of, I have Chinese homework that I'm supposed to be doing, and I have this whole quarantine time to do it, but guess who procrastinated and has not done her Chinese homework yet? So I am taking lessons, I am trying to learn, but it's obviously a very, very difficult language, and I have a very, very rudimentary understanding of it. But I do love it here. I do also miss the U.S. sometimes, but thanks for being concerned again, you guys, and caring about what happens here in Wuhan, and to me and to all the Chinese people who are affected, and to just like what's happening internationally. Oh, other huge development is, as of this morning, the World Health Organization has officially declared this a global medical emergency over the coronavirus. So like that is really monumental news and development for this coronavirus. So even though it's starting to feel a little bit more we're not in the same shock and scare in Wuhan that we were in the first couple days, things are still getting really bad and escalating, especially worldwide, internationally, and like no doubt Wuhan, where it's the epicenter. So for sure, like, keep reading the news, keep being aware, try to just like I like the memes too. I've been looking at all the memes too, but in your like, their memes are fine. I love a meme, but in your communications with people, try to be more sensitive, because we're scared too. People from Wuhan are scared too. Chinese people are scared too, and try to be understanding of that instead of going straight to a joke or straight to like a comment about like, oh, don't cough on me, bro. Like, just try to remember that no one wants the virus. So, but thank you guys for caring about everything going on and being so encouraging and supportive, and giving me all your thoughts and comments. It's been really encouraging, and it has been really uplifting, and I really enjoy it. So thank you so much, guys.